Effortless and obvious. I thought, well, let's take a look at that, shall we? What is effortless and obvious? What? So let's start with effortless. Seems to me that points directly at something that would take no effort at all. Zero, none.
There also isn't anybody there that would exert the effort.
Yes. Yes, very good. If you look, there actually isn't anyone in the body. So effortless means nothing to do. But that doesn't end doing. And sometimes that can be heard in kind of a funny way. Like, oh, so I'm going to sit in a cave and meditate. No. The body is just, it's being moved like everything else. So the body will continue to do whatever it does. So the message here is that you're already not doing anything because there isn't a you. And if it feels like that there is a you, that is a mental imagining, a very, I don't know, some call it contracted energy. This sense of solidity, a sense of location. I'm here. Well, so this isn't about getting rid of a me, this meeting. It's not about getting rid of a me. It's pointing at something far more. It's saying there never was a me to begin with, so there's already nothing to get rid of. So if the me didn't begin, then it can't end. So there's no path, and paradoxically, there's no escape. Yes, laughing is the correct response. And this is an open meeting, meaning everybody's invited to participate. So feel free to unmute and ask your question or make a comment. You know, I actually only answered the first part. Remember I said, what's effortless and obvious? But we only covered effortless. What about obvious? What's obvious?
Well, the word already, of course, would come in with obvious.
So what's already obvious?
It's kind of close to effortless because you don't have to, there's no need to search for it.
Right.
It's apparent. It's right there. It's right here.
Exactly. It's just the simplicity of what you wouldn't normally think of as like the computer screen, the walls, my voice, you scratching, the lighting, the sound, the chair, all of it is it as that. So that siren is this as the siren. If you get a headache, that's this appearing as a headache. If you're nervous, that's this appearing as nervousness. If you're happy, that's this appearing as being happy. So effortless and obvious. Effortless, no effort, and obvious, the simplicity of what's already just going on. So just this right here. This is everything. There's nothing else happening, just this. And however it's showing up is completely perfect. However it's showing up, it can't be any other way. So not liking it, it can show up as being pissed. It can show up as being angry. It can show up as being hurt or feeling slighted or annoyed. But it's not you. It sounds funny to say, but you've never been annoyed. I'm not saying annoyance hasn't risen. I'm just saying there's never been a you there that owned it.
That struck me as really funny. That you said that you have never been annoyed. It just sort of cut through because I just made me realize how we own that stuff. We think it's us that's annoyed. At least I have in the past. That was really good.
Thanks. Hi, Nkosi. Welcome.
Hi, Michael. Hello, everyone.
Tonight, I'm talking about one of, I think, your favorite, effortless and obvious. Effortless, no effort, and obvious, just us.
Yeah, there's no effort here. There's no journey. There are no requirements. Even thinking is not required. Wondering, trying to figure out what might this be? It's just this. And this cannot be gotten because already there's no one to get it. What seems to be the one who wants to get it is already it. So there's nowhere to go. There's no me who can find this. Because all there is this. There's already no one looking for this. There's just looking happening. There's just searching happening. But there's no real separate individual who can actually find this, who can look for this and find this, and claim that this has been gotten. So there's just this already. Everything is this. What seems to be happening right now is already this. Wholeness, everything. There can never be a separate happening. What seems to be a separate happening is a dream appearing in this. And there's no one dreaming. So there's nothing to get here. And this meeting is actually going nowhere. Because this doesn't move. What seems to be the movement in it is just a dream appearing in it. A separate individual who seems to be looking for this is a dream appearing in it. So there's nowhere to go because all there is this. The separate, what seems to be a separate you looking for this is just an appearance or a dream appearing in this. There isn't a separate you already. No matter what you may say or do, there's just this. There's no doer here already. There's no one thinking. There's no one who's asking a question. There's no one who's happy here. There's no one who's even sad. So this is beautiful. because there is no right or wrong to this. You can't go wrong with this because there is already no you in the first place. So what seems to be a you looking for this cannot find this, cannot get this, cannot know this, because all there is this. This is beyond description. Yet what seems to be a description appears in it as it. This is unknowable. Yet what seems to be the knower may appear in it as it. So there is already the unknown appearing as a knower. So there is already no one here, and there is no meeting. There's just this. And this is nothing that seems to appear as everything. And this is not personal. It's not appearing for you because there's no you there. It's just what seems to be appearing. What is being spoken about here has got nothing to do with you. It's just what seems to be spoken. And what seems to be a separate individual may seem as if it's going somewhere. But in actual fact, it's going nowhere because it doesn't exist. It's just an imagination that seems to appear in this. And no one is imagining. There is no real separate person or individual except as a thought. What seems to be a you is just a thought construct. And is also this. It's part of this. So this doesn't require any imagination. This doesn't require any thinking for it to be itself. And this doesn't require anyone to know it because there is already no one here. And this is not trying to appear special. So whatever question may arise, whatever thought that may arise, may seem to arise, it's okay. There's nothing wrong or right with anything here. Yeah, that's what seems to be coming up here. Over to you, Michael.
Yeah.
That's the news. Now back to you, Michael.
So nothing to do, the imaginary me can hear that as depressing.
Actually,
And-
can I correct you?
Yeah, go ahead.
The me cannot hear that. Nothing to do. I'm not really correcting, but yeah, the me is doing. That's the energy of doing is what makes the me. So when you say nothing to do, the first thing is the me, it doesn't even penetrate the ears of the me. Doesn't make any sense. And of course, yeah, it's going to sound depressing or boring or frightening or whatever. But the me is just this activity of doing. And the problem with that is that there isn't anything to do. Doing is only possible in imagination. So the me is living in this imaginary world of doing and things to do and things happening in time. Nothing like that is here. All that's here is, we call it this, but there's no doing involved because there's no effort. Sorry. Got on a roll.
Yeah, no, beautiful. I was just going to say that if a thought arises like, oh, that sounds so depressing, there's nothing I can do, now I'm really screwed. That exact thought is this too. It's like there can be complaining, but if you look, there's nobody behind the thought. It's just the empty thought that we would label as complaining. And labels are a story.
Labels are the activity of the me. Again, I have to label everything so I know what things are and I know what to do with them because I'm in the middle of a story of doing. So I have to know, I have to give everything a name so I know what it is. But none of that is real because things don't, there's just this. There's nothing else that you can put on that. Anything that you would add to that is just a story and is imagination. It's a creation of this machine of thinking. Everything's already done. There's nothing for the me to do. That's the dilemma that the me is in.
I don't find it depressing that there's nothing to do. I find that a relief. Does anybody else understand what I mean by that?
Yes.
Yeah, it feels wonderful to not have anything to do. It feels beautiful, like manna from heaven.
Yeah.
It feels liberating. It's freeing from all the things that I thought I had to do.
Yes, it's a load off. It's a wonderful load off.
My me knows it doesn't have a lot to do, but this body sure as hell does a lot. And my me is exhausted.
Hey, Michael, can I piggyback on what Dan said?
Yeah, please, Larry, go.
I mean, I don't know, recently, what's happened is become very obvious that all the mind can do, all I can do is just conceptualize. So, I mean, I'm in this meeting and my mind would conceptualize, already imagine grab going, right? And what would happen is then you start seeing that. And it's like, that's all that just happens. It's like Dan was saying, the me is the story. The me is the conceptualizing. That's all it knows how to do. And you sit back and watch it, and then you realize, yeah, you just see it. And it's not a big deal. It's kind of pretty amazing. Anyway.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. I have a sort of a question. I'm sorry I'm late too, but when we talk about the me, but sometimes I wonder if we're talking about the me as if it's some type of separate thing, and maybe, and even the story, but I wonder, isn't that all, even the me is just like a name for all these activities or whatever they are, thoughts, stories. Is not that also this as well? And that when we say the me, because sometimes the me has an agenda, the me is doing this or that, as if it's a separate entity or thing. But I don't think it is. I think it's just things happening, and we may label it as like a me, like it's doing something wrong, but isn't that also part of this as well? It is not part of, that's wrong. Isn't that this showing up as what all the activities that we call me? I'm not sure I'm correct, but I wanted to ask Nkosi what he thought.
Everything is this already. And right now, the one who's asking this question is not you. It's just this. And here, this is talking. There's no one who's talking here. So I can say no one has ever said anything. No one has been doing anything. So as I said earlier on, there's no meeting here and there's no one here. It's just this. This talking, asking questions, wondering, searching, confused, hoping to get this, which is itself. So this is a play. It's more like a play. It's theatrical. So it's a scene that there's no one here already. So this doesn't mind what's happening. Doesn't matter who says what. Doesn't really matter, because all there is this. It's just this talking, looking, thinking, smiling, sitting on a chair, standing up, bed, appearing as bees buzzing, birds chirping, cars hooting. Everything is this already. So no matter what might be said here, it's okay, because there's already no one who's saying it. There's no one, there's no victim already. And there's no one who knows this. There's no one here.
No me to worry about. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So you can notice as you sit here and make no effort that sounds continue to appear, temperatures in the air continue to fluctuate, you shifting your chair, you scratch.
When we say make no effort, like, what does it mean to make an effort? I mean, what it really means is just getting involved with an idea of effort, an idea of someone who can do this thing called make an effort. It's all just, that's the story. It's an idea about effort. But when I say, it really doesn't, it's not any different being effortless or making an effort. It's all just the same thing. It's all this, right? The only difference is somehow getting involved with an idea of me and whatever that means. And that idea can become less and less interesting, and you can notice less of that involvement happening. And it's all this. I mean, that's what we're saying. There isn't anything but this. So all these different things, effort, no effort, me, the me is appearing, the me is arising, the me is having an experience of being separate and struggling. It's just all just this. No, there's nothing special. No special, we can make special descriptions. This, whatever you think is special or separate or different, is just another description, another bunch of words. Anyway. You can't get away from just this. That's the no escape.
So in a way, Dan, we could say that this has no agenda.
Yeah, it's another way of saying nothing to do. Because we see all the doing is just going on inside of the story. Which is just this. But the me is this experience that I have something to do. And if I do it right, then I'll get what I need, or get what I'm missing, get what I want. I'll get everything okay, which is never going to happen. It's completely impossible because everything is only already what, already what it is. And nothing that happens within the story of me makes any difference to anything. And there isn't any difference. That's the already. It's already what it is. It's already where it's going, or it seems to be going, but there isn't any going, except in the story.
There is no right or wrong to this, because everything is this. So it's just this talking to itself about itself. So no matter what might be said, it's okay. There's no wrong or right. Nothing matters to this. There's already no me who's separate from this. There's no me, just this. There's already no one who's being quiet. There's just quietness. This, everything.
Beautiful silence, just beautiful.
I was just thinking that it seems to involve the acknowledgement or seeing the emptiness in everything, including your memories and your thoughts. And then I was thinking about something I read today. Somebody was killed down the street, not on this street, but on one of the main streets, got hit by a car. And a young woman, all they knew was that she was probably homeless. And so then I was thinking, well, that car was pretty real. Anyway, that's all.
So the mind pulls up stories, goes places and pulls up stories.
Yeah. Create stories.
And I was just noticing the temptation to engage in it, or like the mind wants to grab onto it and do something with it, and then I realize it's a story.
Yeah, best to let it go.
Or as Nkosi recently said, birth and death are thoughts appearing in this.
Effortless and obvious.
Well, in a way, when we say something is real, like the car hitting a woman, killing her, which happens every day. What that means is that, I mean, to say it's real means that there's something happening, and there's a me that's involved, and a me that could do something about it. That's kind of what it means to say that something is real, in a way. You could say it that way. And then you could look at, like in this, I mean, you can see that everything is actually just happening. There really isn't anyone who's outside of it that can do anything about what's happening, what's appearing all the time, which includes car accidents and everything else. Things that we would say are good, bad, meaningless, whatever. But then you can also look at, well, okay, this me that can do something about this situation. What would I do? Okay, well, what I want to do is I want to make it so cars, don't kill people, so people don't die, so people, so these bad things don't happen. I mean, I'm just, looking at the sort of playing with this. I mean, that's kind of what the me is trying to do. It's trying to take my doing and get rid of all the bad stuff and have it be okay for me. Have this experience be the way I would want it to be, the way that it's acceptable. And that's, I mean, does that even make sense? I don't think so, but there's really nothing, there's nothing separate happening in any of this. There's just this, and there's an appearance, and then there's the ability to just say what it is and say what it means. But there really isn't anybody available to do anything about what's going on. Anyway, that's just a little commentary.
Well, something that came up as you were speaking, Dan, was that there is this idea somewhere that there is something real, like, that there has to be something real to hold on to like a hook to hang your hat on,
Mm-hmm.
It's a desire. Or maybe in this case, when I look, it's something that this me has been obsessed with this, to figure out what is real.
can also say it too, though, if something's real, that means something has to be unreal. Right? So there's like a duality to that as well. So
Mhm.
you could say it's all real or it's all unreal, but either way, it eliminates the duality.
Strawberry fields forever.
Well, you'll have to let me know about, is that a koan? Are you doing a koan on us right now?
There's no explaining this.
That was from the random tree. Peter, I know where you are. I'll find you offline. I need an explanation on that one.
So you might notice as the mind gets involved, stories start to spin and concepts appear out of thin air.
Mhm.
And after about 60 years of doing that, it can get old. And there's no time. So there's no waiting because it's all you're already not. That's about as direct as I can say it, Nkosi. You're already not. Any last comments or questions before we close out this evening?
Yeah, I just wanted to share something from, I think I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, but this whole theme tonight about effortlessness kept reminding me of an Alan Watts. It's the Alan Watts plug. But in The Way of Zen, he says, it's one of the chapters, it's called Sitting Quietly Doing Nothing. Spring comes and the grass grows by itself. And I just think it's so apropos for this, sitting quietly doing nothing. I mean, that was something that kept coming up tonight, doing nothing. And then spring comes and the grass grows by itself.
Yay. Beautiful. That was lovely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so to continue our Beetle Fest, I was just thinking there's nothing you can do that can't be done, is what John Lennon said. But there's nothing you can do that isn't already being done.
That's great.
Yeah.
And there's no one outside of all that to do it. Because the doer is the idea of doing, but it's already just being done. The doer is being done.
Mm.
All right.
Thank you.
I like this Beatles thing. We need to keep that going.
I want to thank each and every one of you for attending our meeting. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. I know I sure have. It's just lovely to hear all the different expressions. Just so beautiful. And I'll do my best to get this up on YouTube in the next 24. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great night.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, Nkosi.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks.